Okay, so let's talk about money. What if I told you that getting wealthy has almost nothing to do with how smart you are? Forget your MBA, forget complicated spreadsheets. According to Morgan Housel's incredible book, The Psychology of Money, financial success isn't a hard science, it's a soft skill. It's all about how you behave, and that is way more important than what you know.
To really get this, let's look at a true story about two guys. On one side, you've got Ronald Reed. He was a janitor and a gas station attendant his whole life. On the other side, Richard Fosconi, a high-powered Merrill Lynch executive with an MBA from Harvard. I mean, on paper, you'd think there's no contest here, right? You know exactly who's going to end up on top.
But here's where the story gets wild. When Ronald Reed, the janitor, passed away, he left behind a secret, an $8 million fortune. Yeah, you heard that right, $8 million. And he donated most of it to his local hospital and library.
And Richard Fosconi, the guy with the fancy degree in the corner office? Well, during the 2008 financial crisis, his super-leveraged lifestyle completely fell apart. He declared bankruptcy. He lost everything. So you gotta ask, how is that even possible? How does a janitor with no formal financial training end up outperforming a Wall Street executive? Well, the answer isn't in what they knew. It's all about how they behaved.
This is what Housel calls the money paradox. See, success with money isn't really about math, it's about psychology. It's about taming your ego, your fear, your greed. A total genius who loses control of their emotions can go broke in a heartbeat. Meanwhile, a regular person with average knowledge can build incredible wealth just by being patient and disciplined.
And that brings us to the first huge takeaway from the book. And honestly, it's one that might force you to completely rethink what it even means to be wealthy.
Housel just nails it with this quote. He says, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. Think about that. We're wired to see a fancy car or a huge house and think, wow, that person is wealthy. But we don't see the car loan, the mortgage, or the savings account that's being drained to keep up appearances.
And this is where we have to understand the massive difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is visible, it's your current income, it's what you spend. But being wealthy, that's hidden. It's the income you don't spend. It's the money that's tucked away, quietly growing in assets behind the scenes.
So yeah, rich is what you see on Instagram, right? The flashy car, the giant house, the designer watch. It's the performance of having money.
But true wealth, that's what you don't see. Wealth is the sports car you decided not to buy so you could invest the money instead. It's the first-class ticket you passed on. It's all the money that was saved, not spent, and is now compounding into something so much more valuable.
So the bottom line is this: wealth isn't really about the stuff you own right now, it's about having options in the future. It's the freedom to change your career, to deal with an unexpected emergency, or to jump on a great opportunity, all without being financially trapped.
Okay, so you've managed to build some wealth. Awesome. Now, how do you keep it? This leads to the book's second powerful principle. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two totally different games.
Getting wealthy often takes big risks, a ton of optimism, and putting yourself out there. But staying wealthy, that requires the complete opposite mindset. It requires humility, saving like a pessimist, and a healthy dose of paranoia that you could lose it all just as fast as you made it.
Housel calls this having a barbelled personality. So on one end of the barbell, you have your engine. Be optimistic, take aggressive risks in your business or career. That's how you generate wealth. But on the other end, you need a shield. Be paranoid and extremely frugal with your personal savings. This is what ensures you can survive the bad times and just stay in the game.
And staying in the game is everything because of this wild concept called long tails. Basically, in investing and in business, a tiny handful of outlier events, the tails, account for almost all of the results. You know, think about your own investment portfolio. Most of your investments are probably going to be duds or just break even. All the real growth, the massive returns, they come from just a tiny, tiny fraction of huge winners. This means you can be wrong most of the time and still do incredibly well, but only if you survive long enough to catch those few big wins.
This leads to a pretty mind-blowing insight, right? Good investing isn't about making brilliant calls every single time. It's about consistently not screwing up. It's about avoiding that one catastrophic mistake that wipes you out and takes you out of the game for good.
So, if we're supposed to avoid flashy things and our main goal is just to survive, you might be asking, what's the point? What is the actual payoff for all this discipline?
And this, for me, is the most powerful idea in the whole book. The real dividend that money pays isn't a luxury car or a bigger house. It's freedom. It's the ability to wake up in the morning and have complete control over your own time.
That's the real definition of financial freedom. It isn't necessarily about never working again. It's about having the power to choose what you work on, who you work with, and when you work. It's the ability to say yes to the things that light you up and a very powerful no to the things that don't.
That control over your own time, your own life, your own options, that is the true invisible dividend that wealth pays. And it brings a level of happiness and well-being that no material possession ever could.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Take a hard look at how you use your money. Is it buying you things to signal to other people that you're rich, or is it buying you freedom to live your life completely on your own terms?
That's all for our breakdown of the psychology of money. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.